Once, a man came before Jesus, kneeling and pleading for Jesus to cast out the demon possessing his son. He mentioned that he had taken his son to the disciples, but they were unable to expel the demon. Then Jesus expelled the evil spirit, and afterward, the disciples approached Christ to inquire why they had been unable to cast out the evil. And look at what Matthew 17 verse 19 tells us. Notice that Jesus is saying that if the faith is at least the size of a mustard seed, one of the smallest, if not the smallest seed there is, they would be able to command even a mountain to move to the other side, and it will move. My brother, let's understand, because there are people who, when we talk about faith, do not grasp that faith is not just about saying you have it. Of course, consistently stating you have faith can be an exercise so that your subconscious realizes you have faith. And indeed, this also helps our faith to grow. But how can we increase our faith? Because Romans 12 verse 3, the Apostle Paul tells us it is according to the measure of faith that God has given each of us. So, we have a measure of faith, but it cannot remain at that level, because there will be struggles in your life that will require a greater faith. Yes, a greater faith. Just as the Apostle Paul also said that when we were children, we were fed with children's food. Meaning, that more gentle, more soothing word, but as we grow, we can receive the more, how can I put it, the harsher, the deeper side of the true gospel. Why? Because we evolve, my brother, and we grow spiritually, gaining more knowledge, more capacity to interpret and understand what the Lord's Word has to teach us. Things that perhaps at the beginning of your conversion you might not have understood. But see, faith has a measure, and it needs to be increased. When Jesus speaks of the mustard seed, we need to understand how we can increase our faith. And the answer is by stimulating it. By challenging ourselves daily, practicing the exercise of faith. The exercise of faith will encourage you to increase your faith. Because the mustard seed, being the smallest or one of the smallest, when it grows, it becomes one of the largest trees. Meaning, what Jesus is saying is not for us to have tiny faith like a mustard seed, but he is teaching us that we should undergo the same process with our faith as a mustard seed does. The mustard seed, at first, is quite small, but when it grows, when it blossoms, when it produces, my brother, it becomes extremely large. So must our faith be. Our faith today might be small, but we must stimulate it so that it may grow like the mustard seed grows. Now, people might think not, but if you have small faith, many churches teach this. If you have small faith, it's okay, because Jesus said if the faith is the size of a mustard seed, my brother, understand what Jesus said. If it's the size of a mustard seed but follows the process that the mustard seed goes through. It's tiny, but it grows and grows a lot, becoming ever larger. So must our faith be. When you go through battles, through struggles, and you remain steadfast, unwavering, without retreating, you are stimulating your faith. Your faith is being tested, it is evolving, it is increasing. Why do you think there are people today who are very successful in life? It's because one day they went through significant difficulties, which perhaps if you and I faced, we wouldn't have the same faith, the same courage they had. But they went through it, their faith became gigantic, and today it's not just anything that shakes them. Imagine, my brother, the disciples, they walked with Christ, they saw extraordinary miracles happening all the time, but when it came time to expel the evil, they didn't use their faith, they didn't believe enough. But Jesus explained to them, look, your faith is too small, you have to understand that faith is not to remain small forever, you need to grow your faith, increase your faith. God, increase faith in my life, God, make it come, don't ask God for struggles, but when they come, thank instead of complaining. It's reverse engineering, instead of complaining when the struggle comes, you give thanks. Why? Because you know that this struggle came because there's a victory to come, and there won't be victory without a battle. So, the battle came because there's a victory for God to deliver to you, and that victory will be delivered if you remain firm, and of course, if you remain firm, endure, get through the struggle, your faith is being approved, it's being perfected, it's growing like a mustard seed. So may you understand this today, my brother, you have a portion of faith, many struggles come, and if you're not with your faith active, in constant growth phase, you might end up not winning. Why? Because at some point, you'll end up letting doubt in, because you didn't evolve your faith, because you didn't increase your faith. God, increase faith in me. God, I don't just want to say that I have faith, I want to show that I have faith. We will evolve our faith when we don't flee from the battle. There are many battles that come, and people flee, and this only causes their faith to remain in the same portion. In other words, if a person flees from small battles, their faith doesn't grow. So how can God allow bigger battles to come, which will have much greater victories, if even the small ones they can't win? Why can't they? Because they let doubt in, because they embrace negativity. Do you want to know how to grow your faith, my brother? Remove all unbelief, all negativity, all doubt from your life. Because doubt, negativity, and unbelief are spiritual blockages that block the growth of your faith. And if you don't remove negativity, doubt, uncertainty, insecurity from within you, you will always be blocked. Your faith will never grow, and the great victories that God has for your life won't come. So take this to heart. Jesus didn't say my faith has to be tiny. Jesus gave me the example of the mustard seed because it grows, even though it starts as the smallest, it grows and becomes one of the largest. So my faith will grow, my faith will evolve. I won't refuse, I won't retreat from any battle that comes against my life. All that come, I will kneel down, I will talk to God, God, I will enter this battle and I will win. I have already emerged victorious, I won't refuse. Ah, but fear knocked on the door, remove the fear. Ah, but a doubt crossed my mind, remove that doubt, the insecurity, throw it away. This way your faith will evolve and you will achieve ever greater victories. My brother, subscribe to this channel, continue feeding on the word of the Lord and send the messages you hear here so that other people can also be nourished by the genuine and true gospel, which, look, has been scarce in recent times. Every day the true gospel becomes more hidden, less preached. So value this channel, the only thing I ask for is your support by subscribing, leaving your like, comment, and sharing with the people you love. And look, here are 2 other messages for you to continue feeding on the Word of God, because there's nothing better than learning from the Word of the Lord.